All right, welcome back to another one of my videos. Today I'll be doing this very quick video referencing last week's topic, the two ways we get to trade in this market. One is to simply understand the whole principle of the forex market, get to understand what makes things work and how to apply yourself so you'll be able to make the best use of your knowledge when the time presents itself. The second one is the application phase of the previous one. It has to do more with application. The second way we trade is conditional in the sense that if a certain thing happen, we're expecting a certain thing to happen. So what this means, or rather why this is different from the other one, is because there are most times that your application would not just be valid for the market structure that is right in front of you, but we just don't care. We just want things to happen the way we've backtested it and we've seen that it happens. Now, where the mistake or controversy comes is that most people believe that in order for you to be profitable, that you need to have that full understanding. But the truth is, no, you don't need to have that full understanding. A very valid case study would be the newbies that come into this market and their very first attempt or their very first series of attempts, they find out that they are way more profitable. And the more you learn, it becomes even more difficult for you to be as profitable as you were when you just began. I'm sure most of us have gone through that phase. But today I would explain with more examples why I feel for newbies or for those that don't have so much time that the best approach is to go with the second one. Just go with the conditional approach because in most cases, over learning tend to cripple traders. And so it is more ideal that you learn the conditional way of trading. Because even when you know inner workings of trading, the only thing that is going to differentiate you and someone that is profitable is still that application. So how about you just jump everything and then focus more on the application? That's what this video is going to be trying to explain. So let's go straight into it. The principle is simple. What I'm doing here is going for just one arrow, only one application process, and that is the break of any high. The rule here is we're only taking buys, only going up with the flow of the market. So when there is a break, we place our stop loss and we place our TP and we go for one arrow. That's the only rule. So we're using the gold here, 4 hours time frame, to see how well this would work. Let's say we don't know anything about the market. All we want to do is to see what happens when price breaks this high in order for us to pick a buy. So the good thing is at least there was nothing showing on screen while I was giving that explanation. But now let's do the proper stuff. From here, let's see, we don't get to do anything until the break of this. So nothing happened until we broke here. And this was the candle that broke here properly. So what I'll do is to take this buy here, and I like to place it at the lowest point before that break. And then we go for 1 hour. That's it. 1 hour, easy. So let's say, okay, maybe we didn't even get that part for some reason. Maybe we were waiting and this was so long. When was this? All the way from, April all the way to September. We did not get all of this, but we set our alarm and then we broke this. Maybe we missed it. And then we started, looking for those positions here because now we know the market is active. All that previous moves here, the market wasn't active, so we stayed out of it, maybe trading other pairs till we got here. So now we know the market is active, then we start doing our stuff here. We start doing our break and buys here. So we start, cool. Let me even start here. We start here. A proper break was this. Let's stop loss the lowest point before the break. 1 hour for zits somewhere here. So we're like, okay, this is fine. The next one, There was a proper pullback, so we placed that there. It's broke with an engulf. So we did this. The lowest point, 1 hour, easy. So should we consider this a decent pullback to start looking for break off structure? I would say no, it's just one candle. How about this? Should we consider this? Yes, there was even lower low, so this is perfect. There was a break of structure here. We took this as simple as ABC. We don't necessarily know why it's trending, why the market is going for buys. We don't know and we don't care. All we care about is moving, and we just want 1 hour. Proper break was here. Or we took this 1 hour. So now this is where things becomes a bit crazy. We're expecting a break, but we didn't get that break. Instead, we got a reversal. And remember, we told ourselves the only thing we're looking for is buys. So do we take this? No, we just want buy because we'll go with the trend of the market. So all we need to do is wait for this new break. Did it break? No, we didn't get the break. It still keeps going down. We don't go for buy. We don't go for sales rather. We want only buys. So we place here, no break. We placed this here, and we finally got our break here. So what do? We take the buy. So now, in the case where we know what we're doing in terms of trading, we would understand why this didn't work because of this, massive pullback. That's why our buys just didn't play out. But doing it the second way, which is just conditional, we don't care. It didn't work. Our strategy tells us if it doesn't work, leave it and look for something else. So it doesn't work. We just left it, but we didn't care why this didn't work. And that's the difference between both, because in the case of, knowing what you're doing, you might see this and say, oh, wow, this is a break of structure. And then you begin to start looking for sales to take advantage of this. Even though that is valid, you might know what would happen, but you don't know how to apply it. And then you find out that you get to eat a loss. But this way, even when you take your losing trades, you don't change your process. You just accept that, yes, it's a losing trade, then you continue. So let's keep going. Sorry for digressing. Now, this is just like before, to pull back. Should we take this? Let's say we got a proper break here. This is left for you to decide for yourself. Take a look at all we've been doing for 4 hours candle, and this is the breathing room we've been giving ourselves to trade. Why would you want to do such a thing? Well, it just has to do with experience, because the more experienced you are, the more you realize that this is bound to fail. And then you see a situation where most people would risk more here because, the stop loss is short, man. So you'll be wanting something like this. That's where you lose everything you've made. I don't know. Just experience. I'm taking that out because I don't even want to justify that. I don't want to justify a reason for you to do that. So we've been doing, this much breathing room. So don't spoil it with that tight stop loss, considering the fact that you're on a 4-hour chart. Back to our process. Any break, no break. We saw a structure here. We decided to go with this. Or there a break? Yes, there was a clear break. This and the lowest point. Did we hit 1 hour? No, we did not. Okay, we got it here. We got it here. So we keep going. After our 1 hour, we'll place another one here. There's a decent pullback. It wasn't a break of structure, but decent enough that it stays down there. We broke that properly. We didn't break here, but we'll go properly here. So we'll place this here, the lowest after our highest point. Definitely got our 1 hour. So the same. Did we? Let's say we didn't get this here, so we tried here. Then we broke properly here. We placed this here, 1 hour. So how many trade have we lost since we started this? And this, is a side note to the other. This is a side note to the other topic I love to talk about. Like, why would you not be comfortable taking 1 hour and then perfect this to the point where you'll be comfortable risking like 2, 3, or even 5K to make 5K easily like this? What's the distance between each trades? Yes, it's longer because it's 4 hours candle, but then again, it's longer, but it works. Why do you want to take those flashy trades as opposed these easy looking trades that you can do every single time, that works every single time? Why do you want 3 hours? Why do you want 5 hours? Why do you want 10 hours? Why do you want to risk so small, so little to make the most when you can comfortably repeat this over and over again? We've not had any proper loss, and I'm very certain that we should, because it's trading. We need to get, those losing days to even teach us not to over trade, not to over leverage. We can imagine making 1, 2, 3, and then you over risk here to lose everything, all the profit you've made in none of this trade. So you need to stay consistent with what you risk. You need to stay consistent with how you trade in order for you to be consistent with the profit and the progress you make. So we are at the peak again, and we found no break of structure, which means we are out of the trade. Those that understand trading properly would understand why there is a massive pullback, and they would understand and explain to you why you don't get to see a buy. But you're the one making money because you don't know, you don't care, you're just following your process. They know, they care, and they fail in terms of application. But you just picked the application. Okay, now finally, let's say, I think this, okay, this is where we are. And I'm sure don't worry, I'll keep track of this. Once this hits TP, I'll make another video to explain or to just clarify. Because I'm sure this would still play out properly. Even though there's a massive pullback here, who knows, it might hit stop loss, but then again, look back, how many losing trade did we get? Let's say this is a fluke. Let's say this doesn't happen all the time, but it did happen now. Why did you miss it? Why? And how can you, and a better question is, how can you apply your sets to not miss it when next it happens? Because it will still happen again. This is gold, and this is 4-hour candle. And all we did was to take a buy when there's a proper close above our previous high. So yeah, see you on the next video, and I hope this was able to clarify a lot with you like it did with me. Stay profitable.